Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be an organization and cleaning video, and I hope this gives you all the motivation to clean and organize. I'm going to be mostly focusing on the kitchen because that is what I need to organize. So I already did a deep clean of the kitchen cabinets a few weeks ago, but this one I'm just going to be focusing on the inside of the drawers and all of the insides of the cabinets and just vacuuming those out and cleaning those and just reorganizing the ones that could be better organized. But let's get right into today's video. So the first thing I wanted to do was clean up the kitchen and clean all of the counters and the appliances and just get everything clean so that I would be starting off with a totally clean kitchen to start on the drawers and the cabinets. It's just so much easier to organize inside the drawers and the cabinets if the whole kitchen is clean and you're starting off with a fresh, clean kitchen. So I was just putting away a few groceries that I had missed the night before, just like some beans and rice that I had just left out on the counter to put back in today, and then I just quickly wiped off all of the counters and the appliances. And now that the whole kitchen was totally clean, I just wanted to start on these drawers, and I just started at one end of the kitchen and moved to the other side. So I was starting with this first drawer here, and we just store all of our pot holders and hot pads in this drawer, so I'm just pulling everything out, and there was a few that were stained, and those I was just putting in a pile to wash and just try and get the stains out as best as I could. And then I just took all of the rest of them and put them up on the counter right up above where this drawer was, and then I just quickly vacuumed it out with this handheld vacuum. And we did just recently purchase this handheld vacuum, and I've been loving it and using it for literally everything. If you don't have a handheld vacuum, you definitely need to purchase one of them. This one was just a super cheap one from Walmart, but it does get the job done, and I'm in love with this. And as I went through each drawer, I just tried to organize it better as well. I do this every so often, but it had been a long time, and you can definitely tell from these drawers, things are just totally thrown in just randomly, and it was super hard to find things when I was in here cooking. So I just wanted to go through, and while I was cleaning them out, just better organize them to fit my needs and just so that I could find things easier and it would just look better as well. It's always nice to have things that look nice and clean and like there is some order to them. So I just wanted to do that as I went through here as well. And we had so many mismatched measuring cups and teaspoons and all of those things, so I just wanted to go through and get rid of the ones that we weren't really using or that didn't have a full set. I'm not in love with using plastic, and so I wanted to get rid of some of those that were just randomly thrown in there because we do tend to use the metal ones before the plastic ones just because I feel like it's a little bit healthier and I just feel like they're sturdier in general as well. So I did get rid of a few things as I went through here as well, which was really nice because if you're not using them, it's just taking up way too much space that you could be using for other things that you really do use. So it was nice to get rid of those things and then just also utilize my space so much better with what I did keep. And I feel like we could organize our serving spoons so much better than just throwing them in a drawer, but I just really haven't had the time to figure out a way to organize these better and make them easier to find. So I just went through here and again purged out things that we weren't using and then just better organized what we did have so that I could find it easier with the way that I'm working with it. And you can see how much better the drawer looked after I organized it. Before, sometimes I couldn't even get the drawer open because there was just way too much in the drawer and something would keep it from opening. So it was nice to get everything nice and clean. And this drawer was a total mess as well. It's where we keep all of our canning lids and just random things. This drawer has literally so many random things that didn't need to go in there. So I just wanted to get everything better organized in here as well. And you can see I am bringing in these little tins. These are not organization bins. This is just what I had on hand, and I didn't want to go and buy something, so I just used what I had on hand, which happened to be these little tins. But they did end up working awesome to organize all of the canning lids and just make them easier to find and get them up off the bottom of the drawer. And I just worked my way down as I went. So this last drawer is where we put all of the lids for our Tupperware, and it was already organized, but I just wanted to pull the lids out and vacuum out the bottom of the drawer and then wipe it out with this cleaner just so that everything would be nice and clean, and just to get all of the crumbs that happen to get in there as you're cooking and you open the drawer and crumbs fall in. I don't know exactly how it all happens, but there always is crumbs in here if I let it go too long, so I just wanted to clean those out and get it nice and clean. And then moving on to this drawer, this is our junk drawer. Every family has one of these, and I feel like ours is already very small anyways, and so it gets bad so fast, and I feel like I'm constantly organizing this. But this one I did let go for a very long time, so it was very bad and definitely needed to be organized. So I'm just going through and pulling out all of the things that don't belong there so that I can put those up, and just trying to get everything better organized and more efficient so that we could find things when we needed them. And those two little organizational trays work super well for this drawer. I love those things, and it's what keeps this drawer manageable. Even when it is pretty bad, those things are still such a lifesaver, and I really like that each of them have two little compartments for all of your smaller little things, and they just work wonderful for a junk drawer. And then moving on, this is our silverware drawer, and this one was also really easy because we obviously have all of our silverware organized into this tray, which makes it super handy because I can just pull it out and then vacuum it out and wipe it out. And there's just very few other things. We just have these lemon squeezers here in the drawer as well, but mostly it was super easy to pull this out and get it all nice and clean. And then I did skip our towel drawer because it was not dirty. You can see I just quickly checked it and it was totally clean. So I just skipped that one and moved down to the drawer below it. And both of these drawers below are just all of our lids for our pots and our pans. And then we do have some rolling pins in here. So yeah, I just took all of those out and vacuumed it out and wiped them out, just like I did all of the other drawers. And when I look back at this video and rewatch it, it does seem like it took me a long time, but when I was doing it, it really didn't take long at all. This only took maybe 2 hours at the most. It was a really quick project to work on, and it was so nice to get everything organized and clean. And then moving on to this last drawer. This drawer just mostly contains a lot of condiments and packets that we pick up at fast food restaurants or whatever, or like at the store, little seasoning packets. And I did have this organized already, but it had just gotten a little bit out of hand, so I'm just going through and organizing everything back how I had it before, and then just wiping them out and vacuuming them out just like all of the other drawers. And then moving on, I wanted to give our coffee bar of sorts a good clean and just organize it better, because I don't think this has been organized since we got it and since we stocked it all. So I just wanted to quickly pull out everything and reorganize things. There was just a lot of things in here that had gone out of date or just needed to be better organized. So yeah, I wanted to tackle this next and just get it all nice and clean. And we do store random things. We do call it our coffee bar, and we do store all of our coffee stuff in here as well. But since we don't totally fill it up with coffee things, we also store random things in here like these extra bowls and plates, just in case we have company over or something. So yeah, we just store things like that, and then the crackers that you see in here, and all of our baggies and things like that. So I was just putting all of the baggies together so that we could get those easier, and just cleaning everything out and throwing out all of the out-of-date things that we weren't going to use. And you can see in here something had leaked out on the bottom of this bottom shelf. So yeah, I definitely needed to get that cleaned up. And I would eventually like to paint this coffee bar, but I feel like the wood wouldn't take a paint very well and just wouldn't hold up to being sanded and repainted. So I think we will probably eventually just get a new coffee bar just so that it matches the rest of the house better. But for now, this is working super well for us. And yeah, we really like it. And the sign beside of the coffee bar, we are not keeping it there. I totally know that it says the exact same thing as the sign on the top of our coffee bar. That is just temporarily there until we can get it outside and figure out where we want to put it outside, because it is an outside sign, so we just have it here temporarily. And then moving up top into the drawer, we just have our foil and like our parchment paper and then some cake decorating mats and things in here. And I just wanted to get this cleaned out and better organized. We do have our coffee tamper in the top part of this, and it doesn't always get cleaned before it gets put in there. So we had a lot of coffee grounds in the bottom of this drawer as well. So I wanted to get all of that cleaned out because it was getting a little bit bad. So yeah, I'm just quickly cleaning and organizing it as I go. And you can see in this clip all of the coffee grounds that I'm talking about. We do store the coffee tamper, as I was saying, in this drawer, so that is where all the grounds come from, because when we tamp it down, it doesn't always get cleaned before it gets tossed back in this drawer, and all of the coffee grounds come off and just fall to the bottom, so that's where all of those came from. And when I'm organizing, I just change things up until it works for me. Like you can see me doing here, I put it in and then sometimes figure out that that doesn't work, and so I'll re-put it in and reorganize it until it works for me. and you can see here what it all looked like when it was done. If you would have seen a before of this drawer, you would totally see the huge drastic difference. I should have totally filmed that, but I forgot to film a before for you guys. But yeah, this looks 10 times better, and it just made me so happy to have this totally organized, and I could just wipe that off my to-do list, and yeah, it just felt really good to have everything organized and clean. So now we're moving on to this little cabinet down here, and I didn't clean out all of the cabinets on the bottom, just this one because it had been a while and just needed a good cleaning. And it did have a random condiment sauce in here. I don't know why that was in here. It did not belong. But yeah, I just wanted to give this a quick cleaning, just like I did with the drawers. And here is a look at how it looked after I finished. It's kind of hard to see because the lighting was a little bit dark, but it looks a lot better, and I was super happy to get that all nice and clean. So the very last thing that we will work on today is this Lazy Susan, and it's just where we keep all of our spices and things. And this does get dirty really quickly because the spices will sometimes fall and leak out, and there will just be spices all over the bottom of the shelves. So I just wanted to pull everything out and get it all vacuumed and clean like I did with everything else. And I did try and pull out the spices and keep them in order. That way I wouldn't have to reorder them alphabetically because they were already organized alphabetically, and I didn't want to have to redo all of that. So I did purposefully try and put them on the counters in the order that they went so I could just put them all back and it would be easier later. And as I went, I did try and check dates of things and just throw out anything that was super out of date. Spices do stay good longer than what the date says generally, but I did just want to get rid of the super old spices that we had had in here for a really long time. And also just the ones that we don't use very often. If it was something we didn't use very often and it was out of date as well, I just got rid of it. And I just did the exact same thing to the bottom shelf as well. I put everything on the counter in order so that I could put it all back in the exact same order that I took it out in. And then I threw away all of the old, super out of date spices and things and pulled everything out and vacuumed it out and then wiped it down and put everything back in. And it felt so good to have everything done and nice and organized. The whole kitchen was totally nice and clean and organized inside the drawers and inside the cabinets. And this was the nicest feeling to just know that everything was clean and organized and I could wipe it off my to-do list. And yeah, I don't know about you guys, but this just always gives me such a good feeling to have everything clean and organized. And just a funny side note, I did put all of the spices in backwards, but you know what? It works. So I haven't changed it. I've just left it that way, and it's just backwards of how I had it in before. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. That goes to really help my channel, and I really appreciate it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit the red subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell and turn on all your notifications so that you're notified every time I post a new video. And also leave a comment letting me know that you're new so that I can say hi to you guys. And also be sure to go check out my other videos, because if you liked this one, you'll definitely like my other ones as well. But that is going to be it for today's video, so be thankful and rejoice in the Lord. Bye guys!